Yo, what's good everyone? So this is round 4 of Stonehenge's tournament, the quarterfinals. It's best of 7, so first person to win 4 matches will advance to the semi-finals. And we're up against Dab. Now despite Dab being a bit of a silly guy, he's a really good player, so this will be a interesting match. I'm going to ban his rank 3 Serpent, of course, because imagine subjecting yourself to fighting Serpent. Couldn't be me. Gonna ban his man thing because I don't have the best options for him this meta, so I just took mine out of my deck and started to ban him. Then for the third ban, I'm pretty open. I decided to go with Count Nefaria because he's one of the better Mephisto counters this meta, and I really like to place Mephisto on defense because he stalls Juggernaut, he stalls Scarlet Witch, and he stops Massacre, who are 3 of the best attackers this meta. So yeah, I really like placing Mephisto on defense, so I figured Nefaria would be worth a ban. Gonna pick up my rank 3 Photon because I know Dab will be running suicides. And if you didn't already know, Photon turns off your willpower when you fight against her, so you're not going to be able to willpower heal any of that bleed damage from suicides, which means Photon is just a really strong defender against people who run the suicide masteries. My Mephisto popped up in the draft, picked him straight away. I do think he's one of the best defenders this meta. Maybe the best defender if you, me and you consistently ban Serpent. Maybe. Sometimes he does get nuked in like 40 seconds, but it's very rare. Most of the time he does at least stall your opponent or do a decent amount of chip damage. For this last pick here, the draft was looking really arsed, so I decided to reroll, and you can reroll in this tournament. You can reroll every match, so I stocked up on them, and I didn't have my Juggernaut, so yeah, rerolled, and luckily we got him. Now the draft was looking pretty bad for me, but with that single Juggernaut pick, it's all turned around now. Now I have the draft advantage. So he placed his Onslaught there. He's going to want to bait out my Juggernaut, because if he does that, he can place Maestro, and Maestro would be annoying with Scarlet Witch. It is doable with Scarlet Witch, but you need pretty good RNG. So I just decided to use my Scarlet Witch in this fight and save my Juggernaut for when he places Maestro. And hopefully we get good RNG. But if you watch my last stream, you know that my Scarlet Witch RNG is incredibly arse. I swear to God, last time I used her on stream, nothing was happening. I was getting no Furies, no Cruelties, no Regen, nothing was happening. My Scarlet Witch RNG was so bad and it cost me so many matches. But luckily, it's all turned around in this tournament. I get really unlucky with Scarlet Witch in GC, but in this tournament, she has been cooking for me. She has won me matches in every single round, and that was like a 26 second rank 3 Onslaught. Can't complain at that. Does that make up for last stream? No it doesn't, but it's a start. Hopefully we can keep getting RNG like that. He used his rank 3 Photon for Mephisto there, which was the right call because I had Massacre. Massacre will nuke that Photon in like 30 seconds anyway, so yeah, he was definitely right for burning his Photon there. He's going to place his Maestro and try to race me with Jugs because he had no other option really. He could have placed Domino, but then he would have been screwed for round 3, so there was no point in that. He might as well place Maestro in round 2, and he's going to try and race me with his Jugs, but yeah, he hasn't got much chance to win here unless I seriously fuck up. Like, I would have to eat a special 1 or a special 2 to the face or something to lose, because obviously Juggernaut nukes Maestro, especially this meta. Juggernaut with guaranteed crits. It's just so dumb. Like, he is that guy this meta. You need to draft Juggernaut to win. If your opponent drafts Juggernaut and you don't, you're probably going to lose. But yeah, man, luckily first game is a W to us, and it's all thanks to that reroll that got us Juggernaut. Without that, very good chance we lost that game. But I want to share a little bit of Battlegrounds history here. So this is the top 10 players in regards to points gained in Battlegrounds history. What do I mean by that? Well, every single Battleground season since it first came out, this is all the points added up across every single Battleground season, and it's the top 10 players with the most points in Battlegrounds history. And if you look here, I'm in 6th place, and Dab is actually in 7th place, which is really interesting. I didn't expect Dab to be in the top 10, not because of his skill or anything. I just didn't think he grinded out Battlegrounds that much. But yeah, he's 7th in place, I'm 6th, so it's almost like this tourney match was meant to be. And he's going to place his Destroyer here. I'm going to use Stealthy. Now, if you don't know about Destroyer, you can't intercept him because he goes unstoppable. So you need to use champions that have a high crit chance without having to intercept. And of course, Stealthy fits that perfectly. But this match goes very, very wrong. You know, I've done this fight so many times against rank 2 destroyers in 30 to 40 seconds, near 100% HP. It's a really easy match for Stealthy normally, but we just got really bad crit RNG in this match. You'll see what I mean. Normally Stealthy crits on every single hit, but yeah, that just didn't happen in this fight and we were not able to get Destroyer down in time. But what else can I expect of Stealthy, man? He's let me down so many times. I should expect it by now. Like last season, he lost me a very important match near the end of the season when he took 80 seconds against the Sasquatch. And that was mostly because Sasquatch didn't go into Wrath before he gained 14 rage stacks. But still, I blame Stealthy. I blame Stealthy for it. Don't crit on one of our SB2 hits here, so we weren't quite able to finish Destroyer off. So we're getting SB3'd. You probably noticed we were taking some random unavoidable damage there as well. That was from Destroyer's Sig ability. When you hit Destroyer with a buff on yourself, you're going to take some burst damage. I forget if it's energy damage or physical damage, but either way, you're going to take some burst damage if you hit Destroyer while you have a buff on yourself. And I had the Dex buff, so you really want to try not to Dex against Destroyer unless you're using a buff immune champion. But luckily, it looks like Dab got clipped when Nick went into his second life, so we actually end up winning this game. And I really want that Spidey emote. I'm not sure where Dab got that sad Spidey emote from, but I really want it. They should put that in the Battleground store for sale again, give everyone another chance to get it. I'm not even sure where he got it from, but yeah, I've pretty much guaranteed myself a win now that I won the first round. He plays his Electro, and of course I could use Nova here and nuke Electro in like 20 seconds, but I decided to play it safe and use CGR so I can put Nova on defense next round. And there is a way to do this fight safely. I see a lot of people messing this fight up. So this is how you do CGR versus Electro with pretty much a guaranteed 90% finish. You're just going to want to play normally, build up to your special 2, and once you're at your special 2, you do actually want to get the guaranteed crits. Throw your special 2, because most of the time the reason this fight goes wrong is because a hit on your SB2 doesn't crit, so you have to hit him with a basic attack to kill him. So if you go for the guaranteed crits, that's not going to be a problem. Then you just hit him with your striker. The striker won't take thorns damage, and then a heavy will kill him. And since you kill him with the heavy, he doesn't have time to put any of that thorns damage back on you. So yeah, that was a nuke, and we actually beat Titania there. Pretty nice matchup. Second game is also a W for us. Now we're moving on to game 3, and I decided to ban his Destroyer because, you know, there's really not much point banning one of his OP science attackers like Titania, Hulk, Count Nefaria if I'm just going to leave his other OP science attackers open. It's a waste of a ban because either way he's going to get a very strong science champion. So there's no point wasting a ban on one. So I just decided to ban his Destroyer since he caused me problems last game. My Destroyer is only rank 2 as well. So yeah, I figured that would be the best way to go. We rerolled into a Juggernaut, which, yeah, we really needed that because if you don't have Juggernaut and your opponent does, like I mentioned earlier, you're probably going to lose the match. And that places Atuma here. I place Rincha, he goes Count Nefaria. I'm like, that's probably going to take him a while, so I probably don't need to burn my jugs here, and I can save my jugs for either Onslaught or Korg. And I decide to go with Weapon X. Now, Weapon X is actually really solid on attack this meta because he gains a massive passive fury once he goes into Berserk mode, and most of the time, a 5-hit combo into a special attack with that passive fury will kill most champions in the game. And we got really bad AI there. I tried for a light intercept, but Atuma immediately threw his light attack, so I couldn't retaliate and I got hit in the face. So that's probably going to cost us the match. As you can see here, I went into Berserk, gained the guaranteed crits with the Fury, and it's over for Atuma. If we didn't get hit there and we didn't get passive AI, that could have been like a 52k point fight. We could have done that in under 30 seconds easily, maybe around 20 seconds if we got the perfect AI. And yeah, he ends up beating us because he finishes 100% health. As you can see there, speed really not as important as health in Battlegrounds. You really want to try and finish as high health as possible, and if you consistently do that, you will win a lot more games than if you're trying to rush and finish fights fast. But he places his Korg. I really don't want to burn my Juggernaut. I did nuke Onslaught with Scarlet Witch before, but it can go bad if you don't get the best RNG. It's not going to be great. So to try and play it safe, I'm going to go Scarlet Witch in this fight, because I know he's going to take a little while against the rank 3 Photon with Warlock. Now, the problem with this match is Scarlet Witch's light attack reach is really, really bad. It's quite hard to light intercept with Scarlet Witch. You can go for the medium intercept because, of course, you can gain the regen buffs. So you can regenerate the Thorns damage off Korg, but it's RNG. And normally, my RNG with Scarlet Witch is really bad and I never get regens. So I don't want to risk it. So I just go for the light intercepts. But luckily, we got really good RNG. Again, we did get pushed to a special 3, but that didn't even matter. We easily killed him with basic attacks. And he's going to place his Scarlet Witch. The reason he does that is because Juggernaut can't really take Scarlet Witch. He can sometimes if you get really, really good RNG. But most of the time, Scarlet Witch counters Jugs because she applies those non-damaging debuffs. So you're going to lose your gem. And Scarlet Witch is the reason I drafted Sunspot. Most of the time, Sunspot will nuke Scarlet Witch as long as you play it right. You just need to rely on your power gain and not hit Scarlet Witch too much until you get to your special 2. Then you intercept and one-shot her with that massive special 2. But even playing it like this, the fight can go wrong. I've had times when I've had 3 poisons applied to me and I didn't even have the guaranteed crits, and I've lost matches because of it. So this fight definitely can go wrong, but as long as you play it safely and kind of slow, even though it's not a slow fight, yeah, it's a really good matchup, finishing 100% there, and we barely win. Barely. How many points was that? 600 points. What would have cost Dab there is the recoil damage from the suicides. If Dab wasn't running suicides, he probably would have won that game. But yeah, this is the 4th game. We're 3-0 to Dab. So if we win this game, we advance to the semi-finals. And if we advance to the semi-finals, we will be facing Pepe. And we start off the draft with a rank 3 Juggernaut and a rank 3 Photon, which is just amazing. Get Scarlet Witch and Atuma. Now, the thing with Atuma is, if you can catch your opponent without Juggernaut, Atuma is still one of the best defenders this meta. But if your opponent has Juggernaut, he's going to get killed in like 19 seconds and your opponent's going to get like 53k. So yeah, if you can catch your opponent without Juggernaut, Atuma is very solid. Even Scarlet Witch doesn't take him most of the time, because most of the time you don't get enough regen to regen all the Thorns damage, and that will cost you. But unfortunately, Dab has Electro trapped us. We actually have no one for Electro here. We could kind of use Stealthy, because Stealthy's first light attack is non-contact. So if we just spam that light attack, we'd eventually get Electro down, but it'd be very slow and I don't want to burn my Stealthy. So I just decide to gamble, go with Scarlet Witch, and hopefully we get some very, very strong regen. The reason you see everyone using Electro this meta when he's not normally in most people's decks is because most of his counters just don't work this meta, because Crossbones doesn't work because he doesn't crit, and even if you have defensive ability accuracy reduction, that turns off crit me with your best shot, so you can't gain the guaranteed crits. So yeah, of course, damage over time doesn't work either. So there's a lot less counters for Electro, and that's why you see everyone running him. We got one regen with Scarlet Witch, but not enough. We still almost died there, and of course we're not going to win that match. Sunspot isn't great for a Tuma, but yeah, he was pretty much guaranteed to win that no matter who he went, as long as he didn't die. I'm feeling pretty confident still though, because I have Dab massively outdrafted here. He doesn't really have any defenders. Hulk would be a decent defender normally, but I have Stealthy, and of course Stealthy's going to run through that. But the problem is, I only have one good defender, which is Photon. He's going to run through Weapon X with Red Skull because Weapon X has a small health pool. He's easy to intercept, and Red Skull has that heal block, so Weapon X is not going to regen against Red Skull, so of course he's going to get nuked really fast. But I know I can nuke this Hulk really fast, and I get some willpower healing, so I can finish 100% health. So I decide to gamble and play for round 3, because as long as I win this game, I have a pretty much guaranteed W in round 3. He hasn't got the best option for Photon, and he doesn't have the best defender. Now the trick in this fight is you don't have to use the slow debuff. You want to go for the fragility for the extra damage. Just use your striker when Hulk gets to 14 furies, and then the striker will trigger his unstoppable. So yeah, don't waste your pre-fight on the slow debuff. Definitely go with the fragility against Hulk, and you'll nuke it in 30 seconds. But yeah, that was really close. We almost lost that. But now, we pretty much have a guaranteed W in round 3. I don't fight Count Nefaria often. I'm not the most familiar with his animations, so there's a chance we mess up for sure. But as long as we don't, we have the guaranteed W here. And Jugs doesn't work against Nefaria, so we're going to use Sunspot. He could have played Scarlet Witch, and I do think Scarlet Witch would have been the better option, because yes, I did nuke it before, but I can get bad RNG. I can get inflicted with 3 poisons even if I play the fight perfect. So I think she was the better play, but I don't blame him for not placing her after I nuked her last time. And this Nefaria fight actually goes a bit wrong. It should have been much faster, but I guess Nefaria is pretty tanky with all the debuffs he applies to you, combined with Inequity, because I went for an SB1 into an SB2 and it didn't quite kill. I didn't get many intercepts on my way to my SB2 though, so that would be the reason. If I was able to work in a couple more intercepts, yeah, this would have been a lot faster. You just want to block Count Nefarious special 2, then Dex out of the way of the last hit of it. But yeah, we do end up winning this match, so we do advance to the semi-finals. We are going to be facing Pepe, and hopefully we get as lucky as we did in this tourney match against Pepe, because my RNG was crazy. We got Jugs every single game. We got Scarlet Witch nearly every single game as well. I got really good Scarlet Witch RNG. I got really good rerolls. Everything just lined up for me in this tourney match. And yeah, I got really lucky. So hopefully that happens again. But yeah, man, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a like, leave a subscribe. GG's to Dab, and I will see you all in the next video.